Welcome to the Coasters and Kicks podcast, the show that's bringing you updates on Florida's theme parks and the hottest upcoming shoe releases. What is going on, Coasters and Kicks family? Welcome to another day on the podcast. This is update number 2 of the podcast. This is, man, it's been quite a while. I recorded the first episode back in I believe it was June of 2021. So it's been almost 2 years in the making, but we're finally back. Today I actually have a special co-host online with me. My brother's from Zach. My brother named Zach. Met him actually at Disney when we both worked together. How you feeling, Zach?
I'm doing great. I mean, we've been trying for 2 years to get this thing going now, to almost 2 years. So, hey, to be able to get here, all things work for a reason. So I'm ready to go for this.
Yeah, definitely. Glad to have you, man. Just like you said, it definitely has been a long time coming. So, I think it's time that we dive right into this, shall we?
Absolutely. Whatever you got on the agenda, let's go for it because there's so much that has happened this past week.
Yeah, definitely. So first things first, I know we talked about leaving a little bit of horror for possibly another episode later on, but I do want to touch base on Universal announcing that they're going to be bringing in an entirely new year-round horror experience to Las Vegas. So I know we're both kind of big on Halloween Horror Nights, but this is kind of huge. And, this is the first time that we're seeing Universal as a company, kind of branch off from their typical sites, which are Singapore, here in Florida, in Orlando, as well as in California.
And the Japan park.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Okay.
And
now
I
we
mean
got
those.
Halloween over in Japan, so this is absolutely incredible that all the parks are getting it. But now, like you said, we're branching out.
Exactly. Yeah, and honestly, this is I don't know, man. I don't know how to feel about this. This is something I'll definitely have to. I think we might have to make a trip, man. And head over to Vegas just for this.
So here's what I'll say on it, and for those that were wondering on horror for another episode, what DJ was alluding towards is I've got history working as a scare actor both with Universal and SeaWorld, and I've been thinking about this one for a while. I'm a fan of it. I absolutely love it because Universal has killed it with Universal Studios Hollywood and Universal Orlando, respectfully. My biggest thing, and I'm not trying to nitpick here, the only complaint that I have about this is what is the repeat factor going to be? Is this going to be one and done, or is it going to be after a year we switch up the scene, we do a new overlay, or is this just going to be the same house over and over? Because that is my only concern.
Exactly. No, I 100% understand, and I'm right there with you. But according to Universal Parks and Resorts, this concept is going to bring to life Universal's vast library of classic horror films and modern horror. So I don't know. It sounds like they're going to be using this large. I think it's 110,000 square feet, something along
Correct.
those lines. They're going to be offering like a variety of different, unique, immersive, fantastic, horror-centric experiences. And there will definitely be food and beverage spaces. So for all my foodies out there, no need to worry in that aspect. There'll definitely be spaces that will be there for food and beverage that are basically going to turn into haunted bars and eateries at night as well. So this is going to be huge. This is the first time Universal's created a permanent horror experience beyond the theme parks. And to be honest, permanent, really, if you want to be honest, I don't even count. Well, I don't count. What is it? Kong? It's called. I do not
No,
count that.
and I'm glad that you touched on that because Universal Hollywood is the only one that's done year round. There's been rumors for the past 15 years that Orlando would do it, but Hollywood started with Van Helsing. Then they had the Universal Monsters Funhouse, or that might be right now, and they just did a year round Walking Dead. So to be able to branch outside of what Hollywood's done year round and to actually go ahead and do it year round on such a big stage such as Vegas is actually going to work better because Vegas, they're going to be able to cut hours. You don't need to do it during the day. No one's going to go. Everybody comes out to life at night at Vegas anyway. So when you team this up when there's events in town, whether it's a wrestling pay-per-view, a UFC fight, This is more stuff for people to do, and if they capitalize the market the right way, they're going to make a killing on those crowds that are not just there, but there for the events as well.
Definitely, definitely, especially considering Vegas is just such a high traffic area. Bringing it to the right area of Vegas, it will definitely bring in the crowd that they're looking for. There's no doubt that it'll be around Halloween. There'll be seasonal events that they'll be offering at the Las Vegas Universal Studios outpost, if you will, if you call it that. But I definitely anticipate one of a kind merchandise of definitely for those horror collectors out there. A good friend of mine, like a little brother to me. I think this would be huge for him because this is this is definitely something that would be right up his alley. As of
Well,
right,
my question,
right.
I didn't mean to cut you off, but my question on this is, did you look at the concept art? Did you zoom in on it?
So on this, if you look at the concept art, you can see Jack there, man, and that's kind of
That's
huge
what
for
I
me,
was
bro.
going.
That's huge for
That's
me.
what I was going. He has never been outside of Orlando, nor has the caretaker, nor has the storyteller, nor has the usher, nor has I'm probably missing one caretaker sort usher. I know. Oh, Eddie, that's another one. The director. There's been so many icons, especially with Chance. None of them have ever been seen outside of Orlando. Hollywood has always done their own thing, respectfully, with Murdy running the show out there. So to be able to get to where we're at right now, have some of the Orlando icons potentially out, just like you said on merchandise. If
Yep.
you're a horror merchandise fanatic, especially with what Orlando and Hollywood has done, going with the jean jackets to the patches to the posters to the collectible cups, you're going to want to go out there and just say a prayer for your wallet.
100%, 100%, bro. Because I'm not sure this past year for Halloween Horror Nights, it was actually pretty huge when it comes to merchandise wise. There were very few things that I actually didn't pick up that I didn't pick up. I was like, yo, this is nice. This is amazing. I want this. I want that. I want that. Right. And I'm like, okay, I got a child. I got a 1 year old now. So it's huge. And I had to make sure I'm like, okay, hey, got to be strategic with my wallet. But bro, this outpost is going to be major. I mean, as of right now, and you didn't miss anything on any of, the horror icons at all. Literally, we got Caretaker, we got Jack. You're not missing anybody. So, and that's just based on the concept art. As of right now, we don't, it doesn't necessarily, this experience doesn't have a name and there are no like haunt experience details available so far. But ever since Universal typically licenses its haunted experiences from other non-Universal, intellectual property, chances are
Absolutely.
the permanent experience will feature characters that they own outright, which of course, like we know, like Jack, for example, right? Bringing that to like Vegas, the West Coast, we have tons of people and fans that basically travel specifically to come to Halloween Horror Nights, and I don't think that'll stop that from happening. But it'll give them a little taste in between the year leading up to Halloween Horror Nights because, of course, you got those exclusive houses that, you may experience at Universal Orlando as opposed to Universal Hollywood. So, I mean, we're definitely bound to see. I can imagine seeing, Frankenstein, Dracula, the Wolfman, the Mummy, all in Vegas, obviously, because they own them outright. But it's definitely possible we can see some of those more modern characters. Like they were saying, this is supposed to be like a twist between the classic and the modern. We can definitely see, modern characters from Universal horror films. Like, I'm not sure if you've seen the movie Megan.
No, but it's on my bucket list, and the
Dude,
marketing that Blumhouse has done on it is incredible. And that's one of the things I'm glad you mentioned. Universal has had an amazing partnership with Blumhouse dating back to what, 2013, 14. I remember Horror Nights 25 had it where they had a Blumhouse, they had Insidious. So the relationship they have, it wouldn't surprise me if you see some of these Blumhouse films in there. And
exactly.
you look at what Universal did this year, and that's one thing I wanted to touch on because you got to go this year. Unfortunately, let me rephrase that. Not unfortunately, fortunately for me, I was working in a haunted house. Unfortunately, I didn't have time to go to Horror Nights. But if we can get a set as beautiful as the Fisherman's Wharf set, or if we do another one like the Universal Classic Monsters film, where you literally felt you were walking into a tomb, I was just waiting for Himmeltep to pop out. We're up for something really good. And as a fan of horror, whether you're a Universal Orlando Horror Nights fanboy or if you just love horror in general, this is probably the biggest time to be a fan because now you've got SeaWorld Orlando stepping into the game. SeaWorld San Diego stepped in. Universal's picking up their game every single year and going further and further. And not for nothing, we got a new park coming in a year or two in Epic Universe. Busch Gardens keeps getting stronger. So many independents are coming up. It's almost like I'd like to see what's coming after COVID because now that we're getting back to as normal can be, you're just going to see the game keep exploding and coming higher, and everybody having to bring their best to the table.
Exactly. Yep. Man, this is huge. Again, this is and this is just horror. We're only talking horror. To be a Universal fan at the moment is huge, especially considering our next topic. Besides Universal Orlando, besides Halloween Horror Nights and this horror experience that's coming to Vegas, Universal also announced that Frisco, Texas, of all places. It's kind of a weird place to think about. But Frisco, Texas is getting a Universal Studios theme park. And
I don't know what to think of that. I just don't know what to think of it. I like it. If I'm Six Flags over Texas, I absolutely hate it. But the way that I was told was think of like a Sesame Place or a Legoland. It's not going to be absolutely massive. It's going to be more designed to kids and families, which I'm excited for, having a 2-year-old. My biggest thing is there's got to be something here. Universal's always got something up their sleeve in the entire company. There's no way that Comcast is just going to go in and build a family park without looking to expand if it hits the market.
Oh, 100%. I'm in agreement with you because when it comes to, North Texas, when it comes to Frisco, essentially, Frisco has a lot of land that is undeveloped. So I
Access
do
in
100% see, oh yeah, access in general, because I can definitely see, them branching off into more parks, for example, right? Doing the Universal Islands Adventure route like they did here in Orlando. I can definitely see that because all the land that they have there, I mean, it's kind of crazy. It's crazy because this is supposed to be a theme park that they're building, but why would they just build one theme park and a hotel, which they have also announced a hotel's coming along with it. Now this is geared towards families with young children, of course, but even then, there's still much more room to expand. I don't see this as being, Secret Life of Pets world. I don't see
No.
that. There's going to be so much more to it. And
I didn't mean to cut you off. What I was going to say was I agree with you 100% because if you look at the market out there, who's the theme park they're competing with? SeaWorld San Antonio.
Exactly.
I don't consider Six Flags a theme park as much as some might say it. That's an amusement park. That's a completely different industry. However, This is the first time outside of Los Angeles that an amusement park is going to go up against a theme park. But that's if you're even considering LA, because the drive between Disneyland and Knott's, that's 15, 20 minutes.
Exactly.
Now, if you're going to Valencia to go to Six Flags, we're talking an hour and a half, 3 hours if you want to get stuck in LA traffic. So this is a completely different ballpark. So that's what I'm curious. Like you said, a hotel and a theme park just doesn't make sense. I think Universal's playing cautious. And again, these are my views. They're not affiliated with Universal. But I think they're playing cautious to see what the market is to test it out, which is absolutely smart in today's day and age.
100%. And when it comes to the area, think about it. It's north of Dallas, right?
Mm-hmm.
What theme parks do we have in Dallas? Besides, your traditional, possibly like water parks. But again, those aren't people bringers.
No, you got 2 theme parks in Dallas. You've got the ever laughing stock of the Dallas Cowboys, and you get to go to Six Flags for Texas.
Oh my gosh!
I just lost all your Cowboys fans,
dude. Look, I'm a Bucks fan myself, so I'm born and raised here in Tampa. And you know this, Zach. I was a fan since Dungy. So I'm in agreement with you. So it's hilarious.
Weekend, though. What a weekend that would be to be able to go to a Dallas Stars game or a Dallas Mavericks, maybe a baseball game, depending when you're going, and be able to team that up with Six Flags Over Texas, and then go over to the Universal Park. Now, for the horror fans, I can tell you this ain't going to happen. There's no Halloween Horror Nights going in here. If you want
Exactly.
horror, you're going to need to go down to San Antonio for Epic Universe. Is the biggest question I have because we still don't even know what they're doing over there. Universal's been very hush hush on everything, which the craziest thing about the industry, and I want to touch on that because it's not just Universal, it's Disney.
Oh
There's
yeah.
this new trend out where we're going to announce something without a date. It's just a project that's been greenlit, but we don't know when it's coming. I don't know how I feel about it because I'm so used to this is our ride, this is when we're opening it, enjoy. Whereas if you look at D23, we know that we have Zootopia, Moana,
Oh
and
yeah.
Villains World coming, but we have no idea when. And then with Universal, I would like to think next year for Halloween Horror Nights, but for the Frisco Park, parks don't just happen overnight or within a year. It's going to take a minute to build that.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, it definitely will. When it comes to, the theme park and the hotel that's coming to Frisco, I definitely see it being more of a people bringer than Dallas kind of already is. You got a lot of people coming into Dallas for, of course, the city itself, visiting family, sometimes just to go to different events. But I can definitely see an increase in flights and that airport in general. I can definitely see that airports. I can see it an increase in their the people that they're servicing. Coming in and
Oh,
leaving out 100% just because of this. Because think about it, it's a 5 hour drive if we were trying to go to San Antonio. So it kind of automatically puts them out of the not puts them but puts Universal puts SeaWorld out of kind of competition in itself between the two parks because you don't have to compete between, like, for example, Disney and Universal. They're for 25-30 minutes with heavy traffic between each other,
correct.
and you got SeaWorld smack dab in the middle of the two. So it's more of a compete factor, which is kind of smart to announce it and, like, okay, try and test the waters. I've been hearing chirps and that a lot of the residents in the Frisco area don't know how to feel about it. They have like mixed concerns, just like we would, right? Even though we don't even live there. But honestly, I definitely see this being something for the better for their community because I can definitely see the city of Frisco, the city of Dallas, essentially as well, and flourishing essentially off of this additional income that's coming to that area.
Well,
Bringing more
and
tourists to the area, trying out. I mean, we got things like TikTok and all that now, where you're able to, you go to TikTok. Look, I just recently went to DC. And what did I want to do when I wanted to look for something to eat? Straight to TikTok because TikTok always has those hidden gems. You'll find those hidden gems of like food places. So I can definitely see that.
and not only you touched on the biggest thing is the airport. The city is already well established. You've got two major hubs there between Dallas International and Dallas Love Field for Southwest and American Airlines, respectively, between the two of them.
Yeah.
San Antonio and Austin, especially, those airports are not nearly as built for the extra crowd. So the good thing is their infrastructure is already there. It's a major city. It's got five major sports teams from soccer all the way to American football, to hockey, to basketball. So it's got everything. There are plenty of great restaurants. If this was going, I'm an Ohio boy, so I'm just going to go ahead and say Sandusky. I'd be more concerned if this was there because there's not an airport in Sandusky. You got Toledo Express, which has one airline. Cleveland, that used to be bigger back in the 90s, and maybe Detroit or Pittsburgh. This is a well-established city. So at least, and same with the Vegas project, you're going somewhere that's already established and ready to go. So it's not a completely stupid idea.
Yeah, I agree. Well, definitely agree. Um, Back to the parks part regarding the details. Obviously, with it just being announced, just like the horror experience in Vegas, there are not a lot of details disclosed. But a lot of
No,
the officials have said that it would have, of course, the traditional offerings like rides, shows, and food, which would also include meet and greets with characters from Universal properties, films and shows like the Minions, Shrek. I could definitely see Trolls coming, of course, and of course the Secret Life of Pets. We've been hearing chirps and whatnot about rumors of potentially seeing that those two properties in specific at Universal Orlando, but this would honestly be a perfect place for them to include it. It wasn't in the plans for Epic Universe at all in Orlando, right? If I'm not
No,
mistaken.
we got How to Train Your Dragon.
Exactly. And honestly, for
And
me, I'm kind of huge on that. I love Toothless, bro. I love Toothless. My wife loves Toothless. Um, and to be honest, a coaster based on How to Train Your Dragon, that's I'm here for it, but I'm kind of afraid based on previous experiences with Universal Orlando and Islands of Adventure. I feel like they, for example, dropped the ball with Mario Kart. I've seen tons of video, and I'm actually getting ready to. I'll be going in summer of this year to actually, go ahead and try the ride out. But to be honest, I'm based on video. It feels like they've dropped the ball, and you already know the one. And lack of better word, the absolute poop show that is Fast and Furious. But then
oh,
you
please
announce
don't get
Fast
me
and
started on that.
Furious. Oh my, bro, we can go there. We can go there. You know this. That was one of my. That was a key franchise in my childhood growing up. Watching that at my grandmother's house with my sisters, and I wanted to be Paul Walker so bad. May he rest in peace. That was one of my heroes, man. When it comes to, he got me into cars. He got me into cars. It wasn't Vin Diesel. It was wholeheartedly Paul Walker. So
No,
it just
I completely agree with you on that because that ride, I rode the Hollywood version of the Hollywood version. Once I rode it, I got off and said, okay, I've done Orlando too.
exactly. And then to turn around, take that backlash of the ride being here in Orlando and going, let's actually build a roller coaster now. And it just kind of blows my mind because now that it seems like they're using if I'm not mistaken, who's the manufacturer of the of Guardians of the Galaxy?
That one was Vekoma. So yet again, Disney went with Vekoma, which if you look at Disney's track record, the only thing that Disney has done that is not Vekoma was the Slinky Dog Dash because Expedition Everest and Vekoma, both of the rock and roller coasters between Orlando and Paris was Vekoma.
Oh, hey Zach, I think you might have dropped off, bro.
Ron is Vekoma as well.
There we go. Sorry about that. You dropped off for a second there. Had a little hiccup.
What I Oh, you're good. What I was saying was Vacoma's done everything for Disney. Everything
Yeah,
from the brand new. The only thing they have not done was Space Mountain in 2005 when they retracked Disneyland Space Mountain.
yeah,
Big Thunder Mountain retrack, Vekoma, Rock and Roller Coaster, Expedition Everest, Tron, Guardians of the Galaxy. They're all Vekoma rides minus Slinky Dog Dash. That's Disney's. Disney prefers them, I've noticed, over anyone because they're the only ones I think that are willing to work with Disney's outlandish designs that always end up becoming something magical.
exactly. Yeah, and when it comes to Universal, they're kind of taking that step towards what Disney's doing with this new what was it, the Fast and Furious roller coaster. I don't know. I don't remember the specific name, but they specifically are kind of going in that in that direction. It feels like they're actually, because based on concept art and the pictures that they've released thus far, we're expecting in some of the turns where the ride car drifts just like you would in the movie, also possibly turning around facing another car. So it feels like they're going the not necessarily Cobra's Curse like Busch Gardens Tampa, but more of controlled, kind of like how you have it controlled at the beginning of Guardians of the Galaxy over at Disney's Epcot.
Or
Uh,
Roller Coaster Tycoon too.
exactly,
Do you remember the
exactly.
one where you could hit that really awkward reverse switch and your car it was a wooden coaster and you would just reverse switch backwards? I was watching something on YouTube about the history of different coasters. The funny thing is that roller coaster doesn't even exist.
Oh yeah, it's insane because the creative minds. The thing about creative minds, man, I tell you, you'll come up with something, and seems like it makes no sense, then someone turns it into reality, and boom, it's something out of this world.
And I'm
Because
glad you said that. I'm glad you said that because I realized that firsthand when I was doing scare acting. Because you're sitting there and you're trying to get everything that works. You don't know what's going to work because you're just like, okay, this is the character you're getting. What do I do with it? You got some that'll react, but if you get someone that reacts the right way, it makes it all worth it. Because that one person knows that detail, and ironically, that's what Michael Ayala was head of design for Halloween Hornets for a long time, and now he's over Epic Universe. I remember him making that comment to me when I interviewed him once. I asked about Interstellar Terror. They did a house in 2008, and in Interstellar Terror, there was all these weird things that were in there, such as they did nods to him and the other designer putting their names on random things in the house that no one's going to see unless you look up close. But I even asked him, I said, why would you go through the trouble of just putting your name here or making it look a certain way? And he goes, because if one true fan, such as yourself, notices it, that's going to make your day. And it makes it all worthwhile. I'll spend a little extra to make that happen.
exactly. Yep. And this is huge, man. There's a lot coming to the parks. There's a lot of new parks coming as well. I mean, with this Frisco update for Universal, it's going to be huge because not only is the theme park coming, that theme park with the hotel, but it's being built near about 2,500 acres of fields development, which actually includes plans for about 10,000 additional homes, right? Which is great. Also, near the headquarters of the PGA, a golf course and a $500 million Omni Resort Hotel. The economic impact that this new theme park is going to have is going to be huge for that area. Like I said prior, man, and this is going to be great for the kids. I can honestly see myself, and I don't doubt that we'll end up linking up, Zach, and taking our kids over to this park. I have no doubt about it, because most of the rides there, everything about this park is appropriately sized for young children. So, for example, the rides, they won't have height limitations on what kids can ride on them. So it'll be like a family thing, a
It's
true
perfect. It's
family theme
the
park.
biggest thing that frustrates you. And that's the perfect thing because that's, I mean, I don't know if you've taken your son to any of the parks yet, but they can't ride anything unless you go to the Magic Kingdom. But it gets
Exactly.
frustrating because you're just like, oh, there's another one we can't do yet. We can just look at a distance, but we can't do anything. I mean, and at a certain age, what are we going to do? Just ride Pirates of the Caribbean and It's a Small World over and over again? There's got to be more to it, which finally some of these parks are starting to realize that Magic Kingdom and Sesame Place can't be the only one.
Exactly. And I agree because I feel like for me, I feel like it does take away that hype factor for kids. You got to remember the first time you were anticipating riding a ride, you thought you were tall enough, but you weren't. So you had to come back the next year or whenever you guys would come back. And when you finally had that chance to ride, it was amazing. So it's a little weird, but I'm actually here for it 100% because of the fact that you as a parent, me as a parent, we don't have to worry about going, okay, well, dealing with the little sadness that you have in your child when your child wants to get on the ride, but they can't. Now you got to try and make it up somewhere else, and that typically ends up hitting your wallet, if I'm not mistaken, right? So
Oh, you're absolutely right. You're
this is
absolutely
definitely
right.
something I'm happy about.
And especially considering the coaster enthusiast background that you and me have, I never dealt with the height back issue going to Cedar Point growing up. Ironically, the issue was a little bit weirder. I went in 2000, the year Millennium Force opened, 5 hour wait. Never
Yep,
wanted to ride it. Was too terrified. And that was the first thing to break over 300 feet, 90 miles an hour. I said, yeah, absolutely not. The biggest thing I did that day was Mean Street. 3 years
exactly.
later, no, 4 years later, sorry, came back in 2004. Next thing you know, I'm riding Millennium Force and Top Fuel Dragster because my stepdad forced me on it. And
Oh my
that
God.
was the dumbest decision he ever did. Not for his wallet, but for mine because it's a 300 something coasters later and a bunch of receipts to show for travels.
Yeah, exactly. That brought you back time and time and again, and that's what we're here for. We love theme parks. That's exactly why we're here. Now, in other news, this has just been confirmed, and I'm not sure if you heard. Happily Ever After is returning after the 50th anniversary.
I did see that. I saw that they're bringing Epcot Forever and Happily Ever After back,
Exactly.
which is fantastic. The 50th anniversary was great. It just wasn't everything I was expecting.
Yeah.
It just felt like there were some things that were missing.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that the 100th anniversary rebound. And I can say this because I'm not affiliated with them. Thank God for Bob Iger.
Thank God. Thank you, Lord Jesus. Well, and I'm not going to bring him into this because I know some of my listeners, viewers may not necessarily align with those views, but I'm going to let it be known right now that it just like you said, it was underwhelming. And this is, I mean, this was a time we worked during that time, during the 50th. And, you know, it was great to experience when we were working with them. But I can honestly say the 50th is very underwhelming. So, you know, with them, this is a smart move. Epcot Forever and Happily Ever After will both be back on April 3rd, and they have both been confirmed. And not only that, but a day later, I'm not sure if you heard this as well, which I'm pretty positive you have, Tron returning. It will be opening on April 4th, now confirmed to be the opening. And this is, this is ahead of schedule based on, you know, ever since getting rid of Chapek, we've been getting back to what we need to get back to. I mean, we have Tron opening up April 4th. It wasn't supposed to open up until what? Fall?
Yeah, no, it was definitely behind schedule. But here's my biggest thing with them finally getting an out for John. This is the best thing that this could announce because, from an operations standpoint, this is a disaster right now with the train being down and Splash Mountain going down for the refurbishment because Splash Mountain and the train are massive people movers. So
Yep.
you need another main gate e-ticket attraction to eat crowds right now. The park just can't do it. I use SeaWorld as an example all the time for this. Mako was the best thing that happened to that park in a long time because every time SeaWorld opened the ride, it finally gets a break to the previous ride that was taking all the work course of it, which originally was Journey to Atlantis, and then Kraken took all of it, then Manta took it, and then Antarctica Track, Mako took it. Icebreaker's taking a little bit of it, and 50 Falls is taking a lot of it, and I got a feeling Pipeline's going to take a huge brunt of that work,
Oh
which
yeah.
from a maintenance standpoint is perfect because I want to see how many rides Disney's going to take down time altogether for maintenance once Tron opens, because I guarantee you there's someone on that maintenance is saying we probably should take these down to do a little quick refurbishment on it, and we have no
Yep.
time because of COVID and the crowds.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And this is something we'll have to keep an eye on because when it comes to these all these new rides that they're bringing, right, and new lands and new areas, there's gonna be a lot of attention to detail they're gonna have to pay attention to. I mean, there have been things that they had on the table that have hit the chopping board and already been chopped. And we were supposed to be Mary Poppins. We were supposed to get a Mary
Absolutely.
Poppins. That was chopped. And now for me, I'm not the hugest Mary Poppins fan. I did watch Mary Poppins growing up, but I feel like that would have brought a new light for that pavilion, just as Remy's Ratatouille Adventure. Um, that brought a new life to that pavilion. I mean, a lot of the pavilions that they're just there, and I'm not going to say they're just there because me personally, I'm a foodie. We know this. I like to eat, so going to those different areas is kind of huge for me. Going through, looking through their cultures, the different cultures that you would experience there, and adding a ride based on some of the IP that Disney has from Pixar and from different movies is genius. We got a lot of Mary Poppins fans that weren't expecting or even asking for a ride, but Disney put it on the plate of those Mary Poppins fans, and they ate it up. Where they're anticipating this, and it got chopped. I mean, what was it? What's the name of the pavilion that got chopped? The Play Pavilion. They were supposed to
Well,
be
that was it. We were supposed to do the play pavilion. We were supposed to do that massive expo, which was going to be like a 3 level tower that you could rent out and do party, firework, cake, you know, all this
right.
party that Disney does for the fireworks at Epcot. Would have been a great moneymaker. That got chopped. Mary Poppins got chopped off the Epcot pavilion. There was shows that got chopped. They were supposed to do that theater behind Main Street in Magic Kingdom. That,
Magic Kingdom,
remember, they
right?
broke ground. I literally just filled it back up with concrete and said, "Oh, we were never going to do this." There's so
Yeah,
many things that got chopped during COVID, and then the biggest thing is, yeah, I'm not affiliated with Disney. I'm just speculating. It looked like Imagineering, judging by the tweets I've seen from a couple of them, was completely shackled and creatively stifled from Shapehack because one of the Imagineers even said, "First time in 20 years I've ever had a CEO that probably spent 30 seconds in Imagineering." And I apologize for that background noise.
no, it's all good. I understand. No, it's sad. I mean, again, thank God for Bob Iger. Goodbye, Chapek. Because man, it's just the reason, and I wouldn't even blame it on. I would not blame it on COVID because yes, COVID did have a say in it, but bro, when Chapek took office, of course, it took the helm. He essentially cut funding for everything, theme park wise. Threw it all into Disney Plus, but didn't throw it all into Disney Plus in a good way.
No, and I'll be first to say, I'm not a big fan as an annual pass holder that we still have reservation systems 3 years after COVID. Just saying. The
Yeah,
fact that I have to plan every single thing around what parks I can get into, it's really annoying. And SeaWorld dropped theirs, Universal dropped theirs, Cedar Fair and Six Flags dropped theirs, and Disney is still going with it 3 years later. Even employees cannot get into the parks. Cast members, it's hard to get into which park you want to go to. So, and the whole reason I chalked it up to is Chapek said in an interview during D23, "I care more about the family from Denver, Colorado that can only go to Disney once a year, whether at Disneyland or Disney World, more than I do pass holders that can come at the whim."
exactly. And it's sad to say that that's how he feels. But I'm glad he's gone because he should really care about all the families who can try and afford to come to the parks. You know, it's sad to say that you bring someone in like him, and all they're thinking about is money. You know,
Well, and you said it right there, try to afford, because if you look at Disney, yeah, it's a lower annual pass once you knock the down payment out of the way. Whereas I'm just going to be the first to say it, and this isn't just coming from a fanboy. I think SeaWorld's one of the best values for an annual pass because for $30 something a month for Florida residents, you get the 2 water parks, the 2 theme parks, as well as the other 7 theme parks around the country, including Sesame Place. The only thing you don't get is Discovery Cove, but you get discounts on it. And that's
exactly.
what I love about having a SeaWorld pass is I can go to Busch Gardens, I get upfront parking, I can go ahead and get myself a front of the line pass for Iron Gwazi or Sheikah. There's so many things that I can get. Oh, and exclusive pass holder pins and free nights to Hollow Stream. Whereas right now, as a pass holder at Disney, I'm just looking like, what are you going to do for me? You took my Magic Pass away from me. I
Yep.
mean, my phone key. Yeah, I don't get the best parking. I'm waiting to start paying for parking, honestly.
Right. And I'm glad you actually brought up parking because that's the next thing too. They're bringing back self parking, free self parking for Walt Disney World Resort guests. So it's definitely a step in the right direction. But my question for you and everyone else is it enough to make you stay on site? Was
Honestly, no. And I'm going to say this, and it hurts me as a Disney fan, but I'm going to agree with Braden over at Mickey D's too. Here's why. I don't know if you saw this video that Braden just put out, but Braden had gone down and he broke down all of the rethemes that they're doing at Grand Floridian, they're doing over at the Boardwalk, they're doing over at the Yacht Club. They're taking all that amazing furniture that made it stand out, made you think that you were in a different environment, and they're putting it with basic furniture that I can get at IKEA or one of those other websites. And that's the part that hurts is I'm going to pay $5,000 to stay at the Grand Floridian,
yeah.
but the product is not what it once was. We're not for nothing. I could stay up the road at Universal Orlando for half the cost, or I could go ahead and I could rent somebody's timeshare or go to a hotel or just even a resort in general for a fraction of
Right.
that. And not, somebody said this to me in 2015. It was the best thing I've ever heard. You got some people that freak out. They need the nicest resort. What are you really doing in a resort? See, taking a shower and laying your head. You're
Exactly.
really not doing anything, and that's why, honestly, I don't think I would spend money on it right now because it's not giving everything.
Exactly. Now, it's definitely no secret that a lot of families have been unfortunately priced out of Walt Disney World Resort stays. But when it comes to the the free parking, bring the complimentary self parking being back at the resorts for the resort guests, I'm going to play the devil's advocate here because I definitely see both sides of the coin just like you do. When it comes to the resorts, I can see why they're removing some of those furniture pieces. Some of those furniture pieces definitely are, I would say, outdated. But I do feel as if they could have reworked it, looked into getting a newer line of those different furniture pieces because a lot of the reasons that I hear about people not going to stay at the Disney resorts is because they feel as if with those parks, with those parts of the hotel, they feel it's outdated. Even though there are constant refurbishments being done on the different resorts, the pools, the rooms themselves. Look at All Stars. Look at the All Stars. I got a chance to stay at the All Stars, and honestly, the All Stars look amazing interior wise. Now, don't get me wrong. Yes, it does feel like they took away that nostalgic feeling. So a lot of us older Disney fans grew up with Disney, that what we grew up with and watched is a lot different. But this new standard of these hotels that you're seeing, it calls for an update like that, to me,
No,
right?
I agree
So
with you because all the different resorts are doing the same thing. Whether you're looking at a Hilton or Marriott, they're all starting to go ahead and do it. So I see that part of it. It's just some of the theming is just less than desirable compared to what we're used to.
exactly. Yeah. And when it comes to the parks and the hotels, just like you said, the other hotels are doing it as well. But again, like I said, just I'm playing a little bit of the devil's advocate because I do feel like
Yeah,
I feel like it's still worth a stay. I'm not going to lie because for me, when it comes to different resorts, and for me, it's the exploration. Right, my first day when I'm typically there, and we're only an hour. I'm only an hour and a half away. Right, for me, the first day is never a theme park day, it's a get to the resort and chill day. But a lot of people that I know of, right, when you go to the hotels, a lot of people just check in, they go to sleep, right, lay down, go to sleep or whatever, chill out in the hotel. Me, the adventure in me kicks in when it comes to these different resorts because each time you stay you might experience or see something new that you didn't see before. I went to what Disney's Art of Animation, you know and stayed at Disney's Art of Animation, and the first night I was there I did nothing but roamed the grounds. I got myself a drink, roamed the grounds, and the reason being is because I got a chance to walk through the cars area of that resort. And instead of them having the traditional sidewalks, they have streets. They're literally streets paved with the paint, with the lanes and whatnot. They have those huge neon signs and the lights on the cars from Cars, like Lightning McQueen, Doc. And for me, theming has always been huge. Theming has always been huge for me. So walking through, Lion King portion of that resort and it being dark, you have nothing but the two or three lights that they have around that area, as well as the lights shining on the statues that are there and the moonlight. It makes you feel like you're walking through the jungle. What do they say? The mighty jungle. It does feel like that. So for me, I would still off the strength of theming alone, I would say this is worth it. Just find the right time to go. Look for crowds. Look for crowds. See what the crowd might be like, and see what special offers they have. And that brings me to my next point. If you're a Florida resident, we got the new Florida resident Disney Weekday Magic ticket that came back. 2-day ticket for $170, $175 plus tax. This ticket is valid between January 10th of 2023 through April 27th. That's specifically Monday through Friday only. Subject to, of course, blackout dates, which would be March 13th through the 17th, April 3rd through the 7th, and April 10th through the 14th, which, I mean, if you're a Florida resident, it would be wise to avoid those times anyways, considering you got spring break for the kids up north, and sometimes the West Coast. We definitely expect those increases. Definitely avoid it anyways. So, but they also have those specially priced 3-day and 4-day tickets available also. If you haven't been and haven't had a chance to experience the 50th anniversary at Walt Disney World, the world's most magical celebration, I would definitely don't miss your chance. Get those tickets, get on down to the resort. All the way through March 31st of 2023 is the last day that you'll be able to experience a lot of the offerings that they have available for the 50th. So definitely get on down, try and experience it if you can.
Completely agree with you on that one. My goal is to try to get a couple more in there on my annual pass once the blackout dates are up before we end, and then we roll right into the 100. And that is the entire goal right there, is just go ahead and enjoy that and then get ready for Pipeline to open a couple of months over at SeaWorld Orlando.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And SeaWorld Orlando, man, I gotta get back because SeaWorld Orlando has a lot of new fun things coming up soon. You mind touching on those?
The biggest thing that I've got coming up is Pipeline. That's going to be the biggest thing. Obviously, that's going to be the star of 2023. But one of the other things is, after we're seeing, hearing what people were saying, and this is from guests, of course, from the reaction of people that went to Howl-O-Scream in 2020, the reaction, 2021, the reaction of the guests that were there this year that I got to see face to face, reading social media. I think we're definitely onto something. There's definitely an alternative to Horror Nights. I would keep paying attention to Howl-O-Scream 2023. I don't know what they're doing. I haven't heard anything. All I know is if it goes off of the anticipation and the rumblings of what we had this year and how successful it was, I think we're in for another great haunt season. And then, of course, Christmas celebration. Nobody does Christmas like SeaWorld does. And that's one of my all-time favorites, is getting to enjoy what SeaWorld does and what they do with their Christmas, because they do such on a bigger scale.
Absolutely. Yeah, and SeaWorld, I feel like it's because they need to grasp it. They've seen so much negative news, unfortunately, regarding, that propaganda that we all saw, regarding, animal health care, and it's very unfortunate. I'm going to try and avoid that topic, of course, obviously, but it definitely is very unfortunate, and they have to. There's a lot of stuff that they're bringing to SeaWorld Orlando, and I'm honestly here for it. I mean, the track is complete for the new Pipeline Surf Coaster already, and it actually looks amazing. We saw some recent pictures, December-ish, I want to say around the 22nd, of how it currently looks, and it's definitely looking up. I'm anticipating some test rides soon. Hopefully, being you're an annual pass holder over there, correct? At SeaWorld. So hopefully we hear from you regarding what that's like when they do start doing those test runs and potentially have those annual pass holder testings as well.
I can tell you this much. I'm definitely going to be doing an episode with you. We might even have to do it live after I get off the annual pass with the previews. I got to get going on this one because I got to actually run and pick my daughter up from daycare. But we're definitely going to have to do an episode not just on horror because of my experiences working over at Howl-O-Scream, but your experiences going Horror Nights. But of course, with what's coming up with Tron as well as Pipeline.
Absolutely, and thank you so much, Zach, for joining us this evening, man. It's been great having you. Like we talked about, it's been a long time coming. I'm glad we were able to finally do this. Hopefully, we'll see this episode up soon. But again, we'll definitely touch more on the parks, as well as some other things. For example, like special offers coming up soon. All right.
Absolutely, it was a pleasure. Just go ahead and reach out. I'll do this anytime you want.
Thanks, Zach. Have a great one, man.
You too. Take care.
Thank you. All right. And thank you so much, you guys, for sticking along with us. If you made it thus far, only a few more things. I just wanted to go ahead and give you guys a couple quick updates. 2023 is upon us. It's here. All right. We got some free $750 dining promo cards that select Walt Disney World Resort vacation packages are actually offering. It felt like they weren't going to be bringing those back anytime soon, but it's finally here. It is believed that guests booking a minimum 4 night stay with at least 4 days of tickets could be eligible. They did offer a similar dining promotion back in 2022, but this dining promotion will be available when booking a visit from June 25th of 2023 until September 14th of 2023, and the amount you receive will be dependent on the number of nights you stay and the hotel selected. So you definitely keep an eye out. It's important to understand that one dining promo card will be issued per reservation. So this is not a per person thing like the dining plan once was, and it will be emailed to the lead guest after check-in. It'll contain a barcode, which can be scanned at participating restaurants and can be added to Google or Apple Wallets on your phone, but will not be able to be attached to Magic Plan or the Magic Band or Magic Band Plus. It can be used for mobile ordering by entering the number of the gift card into My Disney Experience app. For further details, of course, you'll want to visit Walt Disney World's website. We'll make sure we provide you with updates with more information as and when it is announced, of course. Hopefully soon we see those dining plans. Definitely saving tons of money. Hopefully we see those coming back soon. But I also have some updates for you guys regarding some refurbishments and closures happening at Walt Disney World as well. Of course, they're constantly changing their refurbishment schedules, kind of making it difficult for our guests to keep up with the operating times and latest news regarding your favorite attractions, resorts, shops, and even restaurants. But here are a few of the biggest upcoming changes that are either confirmed by their respective parks or at the very least, very strongly rumored for the very near future. The big news lately was last month on December 24th, Christmas Eve, we saw the long shuttered Walt Disney World Railroad finally reopen at the Magic Kingdom. In this month's refurbishment update, we get confirmed closing dates for 2 nighttime spectaculars. Big Thunder Mountain gets a brief refurbishment, and an iconic attraction is set to close, ready for its major reimagining. We'll also learn that a very popular attraction is set for an extensive refurbishment in the coming months. Now, first things first, at Magic Kingdom, we got Happily Ever After. Like I said, confirmed. That's coming back April 2nd of 2023. It will actually be back on April 3rd. So my apologies. April 3rd is the official date that we'll actually be able to experience Happily Ever After over at the Magic Kingdom. It was announced back in September of 2022 at the D23 Expo that this nighttime show will return in 2023. So we'll be seeing that on April 3rd with Disney's Enchantment, the last showing being on April 2nd. Now, another big spectacular, like we mentioned earlier, Epcot Forever is making a return. It's been almost 2 years, although details are still kind of scarce regarding the nighttime spectacular, which is expected to debut at Epcot later this year, as already rumored. Epcot Forever will return on April 3rd to fill in that gap. Epcot Forever originally debuted back in October 1st of 2019 to kind of bridge the gap between the closure of Reflections of Earth and the opening of Harmonious on September 29th of 2021. Now, as far as the refurbishment, like I said, we got a long refurbishment coming up here. Rock and Roller Coaster, starring Aerosmith, will be going down. We heard at the end of December that this attraction will close on February 20th of 2023 for refurbishment, and it's currently not set to reopen until summer of 2023. And with the news of this extended refurbishment on the official Walt Disney World website, this has naturally gotten us Disney fans speculating further whether Aerosmith will remain and if Disney is looking to replace this classic with a new theme. Disney has not confirmed anything thus far, whether a new change of theme is on the cards, and we will bring you further updates and details regarding this if and when it is announced. The next attraction, Big Thunder Mountain. Of course, typically will go down. It's just a short annual maintenance closure. starting January 9th of 2023, which it has already gone down. It'll be back up tomorrow, January 13th of 2023. Of course, won't come as a surprise. Like I said, it's the usual downtime that we experience in January. This short closure should hopefully not affect too many Disney fans and will mean that this iconic attraction will be set for 2023. And that's it for today, you guys. We do have a couple other updates, but we'll touch back on those on our next episode of Coasters and Kicks. We truly do appreciate you guys for joining in and sticking with me thus far. And of course, sticking with my buddy, Zach. We look forward to hearing you guys. Of course, you have a wonderful rest of your evening. Thank you so much. Until next time, Coaster fans.